What's up, guys? It's Trey again. A little bit different video. I actually want to show you guys some lens recommendations I have, because I get a lot of questions on what lens I should get, what level you think I should be on, what should I do for this kind of look, and this is kind of video to explain that, basically. So first, I want to start with the lenses I start out with, and so these three lenses here are my beginner lenses, and I say beginner because there's what I started out with. I had a mentor tell me, Trey, before you get any zoom lens, you master one focal length, and I stand by that. I believe in that, and so that's why when I first looked for cameras back in my old A6000, I first bought the Sigma DCDN 30mm 1.4, phenomenal lens, 1.4, so super sharp, great bokeh, super good in low light. With photography, it's equivalent to about a 50mm and a full frame camera, and it's just phenomenal. It was my go-to lens for honestly years. I need to use it more often. I'm being honest with you. It's just great. Can't recommend it enough. The next lens I want to talk about is the second lens I got, which was the Sigma DCDN 16mm 1.4. You know, there's a pattern here eventually. This lens is great for photos, but I recommend it more for video, mainly because it's a wider lens, and when you're handheld, it's a little bit less shaky. We already gimbal, it's buttery smooth. It's also like putting on a slider. 1.4 is great. I use this a lot for events, and I used to do a lot of parties, like club parties, and this was super good. I would throw it on my camera, put it on the gimbal, walk around, and it was just a great lens. I need to use this more often for video, but honestly, I may try some photos with it too, but I cannot recommend this enough. Sigma DCDN 16mm 1.4, and the last on my trio is going to be the Sigma DCDN 56mm. I cannot brag about this camera, this lens enough. This was my first dedicated portrait lens, and so the way I say it is because 50 cents equivalent to full frame is about 85, 86, and so it's super up close, super tight, but the bokeh in the back is buttery smooth. It's perfect. I did an engagement shoot with this at night, and they came out absolutely phenomenal, and I just love this lens so much. I need to use it more. Maybe I'll do another shoot explaining the different focal lengths, but great lens. Cannot recommend this enough to you guys. Now let's get to the mid-level lenses. The reason I say mid-level is because once you move out of using autofocus and you learn more about framing, composing, and lighting, you want to put a little more character into your images, then you level up and get to these lenses where you want to have a distinct look in it. And ones I recommend for that is these two lenses too. I have two of them, the Helios 44-2 and the Helios 44-2-M. If you know anything about these lenses, you know they're synonymous with their swirly bokeh effect. They're honestly just great. I've done so many portraits with this thing, and it is just beautiful. It gives me like a magazine feel, and that's kind of why I love it so much. And honestly, most of these lenses here are about under $80 because I bought them all secondhand, and they're also all about 40 years old. So these next two lenses are kind of funny because if you know me, you know I'm a big Sony guy. I'm always talking crap about Sony. I'm always talking crap about Canon, and I'm always bragging how Sony's better. But I have two Canon lenses, actually three, that's gonna be a surprise for later. Two Canon lenses. This first one is the Canon FD 28. I think is a 2.8. I need to use this more. I used this for a little vacation me and my friends had a while back, and best way I can describe it is that it gives a very nostalgic feel. Like, we went to a farmer's market and we were in a convertible, and I was filming handheld, and the whole image just felt like a good memory, especially when I put in a slow-mo later. Super good. I'll put this on the gimbal eventually and do some shots with that. I know that'll look pretty crazy. I see a lot of other people do it, so I always recommend this. Dope wide lens. If you were to put this on a APS-C or a crop sensor camera, it'll be about, do some quick math, it'll be about about 48, 50 mil. So just kind of keep that in mind if you're rocking an APS-C. This next one is a beast camera. I cannot brag about this thing enough. This is the Canon FD 135 2.5. It's absolutely phenomenal lens. Like, I did a portrait in downtown Mobile, and but we had some strobes going, perfect lighting. It looked like a whole movie scene. It was just absolutely phenomenal. I recommend this lens if you're doing a lot more portraits. Video is okay, but it's gotta be on a tripod, and it's kind of hard to keep a steady hand with 135 mil. So I kind of call this my dedicated portrait lens because it gets a certain look to it, and it just it's phenomenal. Can't recommend enough. All these vintage lenses, you can find them on eBay, and like I said, you may spend under 80 bucks, you might spend extra if it's overseas, but that's just something just to keep in mind in the future. Now to my two more advanced lenses, and my one extra one that's on this camera right now. The reason I say these are more advanced is because these are we know your situation and you know what you want to do, you pull these out. So I'll start by saying this with the Laowa 9mm 2.8. This is actually the 0D version. So I've done a couple, whenever I do a real estate shoot, I need to do a very wide environment. I gotta show off the entire home. I pull this out and I put it on my gimbal. And the reason we do this is because it's super wide, super smooth. It's like you're being on a star the entire time. I have to recommend getting the 0D version like this one because this has zero distortion. When you get a regular one with normal distortion, your white lines will become curved, and that is an unflattering look for anything. So unless you want to be stylistic, I don't recommend it. So that's the Laowa 9mm 2.8. Now it's time to get to this beast of a lens right here. This lens is what I use when I got a big job to do. I don't know what I need. I know one lens is gonna take care of the entire thing. That's where here is my Tamron 35 to 150. Look at this thing. Beast of a lens, man. And what's even better is that on my A7 IV, I can go to crop sensor mode, and that will turn this 35 to 150 to a 50 to 210. That is insane. When I'm doing sports, I can zoom in, zoom out. I can track the ball. I track the ball just right. It is phenomenal. Actually, when I bought this lens, I actually sold this. I actually sold two lenses for this one lens because I had the Tamron 28 to 70 and the 70 to 180. And I realized this lens is both of them put together and even better. Only downside is that there is a 2.0 to 2.8 aperture. And so when you're at 30 at 2.0 and you zoom into a 150, it goes straight down to a 2.8. No, go straight up to a 2.8. And so because of that, you kind of have to equate for the lighting. Usually I keep it at 2.8 regardless. I mean, this is a phenomenal lens. Tamron's came so far in the years, and I just cannot recommend this enough for more advanced users or more people who do events and stuff like that. You can zoom in, zoom out. Phenomenal. Now to talk about my favorite lens of all time. The lens on my camera right now is the Sigma 1835. If you know anything about that lens, you know it is legendary for being sharp. It's legendary for being in a bunch of productions. Sigma has actually rehoused this lens to be a cinema lens, and it is a beast. I love it. I literally just did a shoot yesterday with it, and I forgot how just amazingly sharp it is. When you put a black permalis filter on this lens, everything just blooms. The highlights get bloomed. It is beautiful. It is just so great. Now, I will say this is more of a mid-level lens, mainly because, yes, it's a zoom lens, but it's not many characteristics of this lens. It's very just sharp, straight to the point, unless you want to put a filter over it. It's phenomenal. I just cannot recommend enough, guys. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you much for just taking time to actually come here and listen to me talk for about 5 minutes. I cannot wait to make more videos. Please, recommendations, put them in the comments, like, subscribe. More videos on the way, not only on this channel, but also my TikTok and Instagram. That will be linked at the end. And guys, have a nice day. Thank you.